Hello and welcome to Jet Set Radio Future Bingo. Today we've got two of our finest runners, 7th Ace and Crabbi, here battling it out for your amusement. So kind of just a bit of background on Jet Set Radio Future. It's a game on the original Xbox released by Sega, essentially about spraying graffiti and fighting the power, I suppose. Graffiti spraying being a huge part of the game, but there's also a bunch of collectibles known as graffiti souls, which is the main form of square we'll have on this bingo board. Some of them are just in the level naturally, others require them to collect a challenge tape on the level and then do some challenges, and then that will unlock the soul to be grabbed, which once they've grabbed the soul they'll have the square for a point. There are also a few squares on here. I'm trying to see an example, but I can't. Oh yeah, Hokage spray 100% graffiti on row 1, column 4, where they have to go through the entire level and spray every graffiti spot on the map, which is kind of an amalgamation of both post-game and regular story mode graffiti. And there's also a few squares where it's just unlock a character, which looks like we've got Rint unlock, which is just go to RDH, which is the level in the game, talk to a character a few times, and then you'll unlock her. But that can take a bit of time, so some squares will take longer than others, but the graffiti squares in general will take the longest, so those give 3 points while the other squares are only worth 1. And obviously a bingo worth 3 points, which means we'll get some really interesting counterplay going from both teams to try and prevent bingos, because as we've seen many times, a bingo can usually mean the end of a game for some players. Anyway, it looks like they've both revealed the cards, so we're going to give them a minute to have a look. So is there anything you want to add, Ekla?
Yeah, just kind of following on from your point, strategy is a huge part of bingo for JSRF. Just knowing the game and having good movement and all those things that go into speedrunning the game don't necessarily mean you're going to be good at bingo. Unfortunately, we have two of the best strategists in the JSRF bingo world playing today. So immediately, once they've looked at this board, as I did when I generated it, they'll see that the Kogani area of the map is stacked. So they're both immediately heading out there to see what they can get. I'm really excited to see who chooses what.
Ooh, frame boost from Crabbi.
Very nice. Good
Sorry,
start.
I just got a bit
Crabbi.
excited there.
An ever so slight lead. It looks like he's behind, but I believe there's a little bit of a delay on his capture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see where these two choose to go with so many options in this area.
Yeah,
Looks
I mean,
like
something worth mentioning.
FRZ first?
Yeah. Oh wait, looks
No,
like Ace is
Kibo
going for
first.
entrance and Crabbi's going to Kibo. The kind of thing to mention about how the map's kind of laid out in this game is that it's kind of an open world light almost, I want to say, where you know each level is kind of its own area of the map.
Crabbi's going for fence jump.
Ooh, they kind of link to one another in an almost sensical way. It's ooh,
Is he gonna make it? That doesn't
Don't think
necessarily
so.
look good.
Ooh.
No. That's another cool thing about bingo, though, is we get to see really cool movement that you don't necessarily see in the speedrun.
Shout out
Fence
to
jump
Chiga
takes
Backer.
you deeper into Kibagaoka Hill. It's not very useful in a speedrun, but it's really cool in bingo. But yeah, focusing on what the players are doing right now, Crabbi's gone to Kibagaoka Hill, which is kind of a
Best
big
level
loop.
in the game.
It's a one-way loop, meaning once you're there, you're kind of there. I mean, it's hard to get in and out quickly, so you're kind of committing.
Yeah, with
Meanwhile,
few
Ace-
exceptions, you go into Kibagaoka, you've got to go through the whole map before you can get back to the start, and the start's the only way you can get back to the sewers, which kind of connects all these levels together.
Meanwhile, Ace is in bottom point, which is also a loop, but it's a little bit faster to get around. Mostly because of this little clip here. Very nice. I love that setup.
Swish.
So a really strong start to the game for Ace. He actually went for the Sewers Entrance Soul as the first soul that he picked up. Ace loves to go for early board control, which means getting as many squares as possible as quickly as possible. And you can see 4-0 right now, his lead. This is a very Ace favored game already.
Yeah, well,
Just knowing how these two play the game.
Yeah, well, there are kind of things to grab in Kibo. You can kind of see on the board they've all got like tricks, air, points, and special, which are all kind of souls you have to unlock first with the tape. but you've got to grab the tape first, which is kind of a problem in this level in particular, because the tape's right at the end of the level, right before the beginning. So you've got to do a whole loop just to get... Oh, Doomsday Clock's moving. That's interesting. But Kibo kind of... That one soul just grabbed is like the only default there, which means Crabbi's going to have to go grab several souls after grabbing a tape, which is just down that rail if he can get the jump to it. Meanwhile,
when we say
Ace,
Kibo is a commitment, this is what we mean.
All this just to get that tape to start the process of unlocking the souls here. Meanwhile, Ace is already out of bottom point with 4 squares, including Sewer's entrance, and looks like he's going for some
cool
speedrunning tech to get up Sewers quickly, which may mean Crabbi has a few minutes to catch up on squares here.
Jet Set Radio Future has a few vertical levels. Sewers is one of them,
And they all suck.
And unfortunately, yes, it's very, very difficult to navigate them in a fast way, and it's very, very punishing to mess it up.
Oh, we got it.
Here we see some very delicate movement from Ace as he's trying desperately not to fall down Sewers.
Yes.
Still a really, really good start to the game for him.
Sewers is a really interesting level from a speedrunning perspective, because Ace makes it look easy, but the actual kind of tricks required to do quick movement in this level in particular is very, very challenging. Like, I would not do some of that stuff on my best days.
So just thinking about the particular squares that both players have been going for, this is a very Kogani heavy map, as we've said. Most of the tiles on the board are in the same part of the map, but we can see that Crabbi is kind of setting up for that diagonal bingo, since there are 3 squares in Kibo. I think Ace has preempted this though, and he's now leaving Sewers, heading back into RDH to pick up the grind 10 soul to deny that diagonal bingo. He can afford to do this. He can afford to stop whatever he's doing, whatever plan that he had, to stop this bingo, because that's one of Crabbi's few ways back into this game from the huge deficit that he's in. Ace can use his lead to just completely shut that out right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Ace is about to grab the tape. Ooh, jumps over it, which will now unlock the ability to do the challenges, which will then unlock the soul on the map, which then he'll have to go to. But getting this one soul will prevent Crabbi from getting a whole 4 points. So,
and it's a really quick one to get.
Yeah,
there it is.
It literally spawns right here. Knowing where the souls spawn after doing the challenges is, I wouldn't say vital, but it's definitely super, super handy to know, because you can do the unlocks kind of nearby to the actual soul spawn. So it means, like, you know, once you've done the thing, it's only a few seconds rather than, you know, if worst case scenario, it's like a few minutes to go all the way to the other end of the map to pick up the soul you've just unlocked.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's honestly where the speedrun knowledge comes in, when it comes to unlocking souls and routing your way through the level effectively. But even then, the ability to adapt that on the fly and not just stick to the prescribed route if a situation demands it is something that that players need to be able to have as well.
Yeah, being able to improvise is huge, because you can have a plan all day long, but your teammate, your opponent, will be doing everything in their power to disrupt your plan. And, well, you know, if your plan gets disrupted, you need to be able to figure out what to do next. You can't just be standing there going, oh, fiddlesticks, now I can't do anything. You've got to be able to figure out where you're going to next, and try and figure out where your opponent's going next. Right now, Ace is unlocking Rinth, which is interesting. I must admit, I'm not too keen on the unlock
Row 1 bingo.
over squares. Ooh, yeah, though that does include Highway 0, and if Crabbi's going to Highway 0 now,
We
I
might
feel like
see
you'd be better off getting
him
the
pull
squares.
what Ace just pulled.
Yeah.
Ace went out of his way to deny Crabbi's bingo, and now I think Crabbi may be doing the same thing here, respecting that he knows that Ace is in RDH, and that unlocking Rith would be a natural progression, particularly with the bingo on the board.
Highway 0 blocks both bingos, like all three potential bingos from Ace.
Yeah.
Because
This is a good way back into the game for Crabbi.
You've got Highway Zero Grind 15 at the top there, and in the bottom right corner, you've got Highway Zero 100% Graffiti. And while we said, with few exceptions, Graffiti takes longer than most other squares, Highway Zero Graffiti is probably one of the fastest graffitis in the game.
It is the fastest.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a relatively small level, which is good, especially when you're playing this game casually, because it's surrounded by some of the longest and most annoying levels in the game to navigate, and it's just a nice quick run through. What is it, 25 sprays, but a lot of them are smalls as well, so it's like very easy to get the cans for what you need. It looks like Ace is going to Highway Zero, but little does he know, Crabbi is already enjoying himself. 8 sprays up already before Ace has even entered. Nearly 9
Now sometimes
sprays.
there can be the situations where a player's experience can help them win even from a deficit, but with Highway Zero being as quick as it is, and with these players being on such a similar level, this advantage means that Crabbi is very likely to take this away. He's also picked up the tape. He's going to be able to unlock some of the souls here. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that one. Prime 15's a little finicky to unlock absolutely optimally because it spawns
Did he get it?
right there.
Hey!
He will get it, just
Nice.
about. This is what we talk about when we talk about optimal unlocks, knowing the best route from the start of the level to the tape to unlock the soul and then to grab the soul. And some of them, the return on investment is very, very quick and immediate.
Yeah.
So, given that he took the time to do that, however, maybe this is going to give Ace the chance to catch up on Graffiti.
I mean, Ace is still in market, and like I said earlier, a lot of the sprays are smalls. The way...
Yeah, never mind. Crabbi is very almost done.
Yeah, the cans are kind of scattered throughout the map, and they'll give you cans that you can use to spray, but with smalls you only need a singular can in order to finish that whole kind of spray sequence, as it were. Whereas, the XL Crabbi just did his 10. But there's so many just single spray ones, and there we go, that's Highway Zero 100% Graffiti.
Huge.
And Ace
So
is
that
kind
gives
of
Crabbi
midway
3
through
points.
Highway Zero as well, so he's got to kind of leave the area as fast as possible.
So now Crabbi is at 7 points to Ace's 9. So this game suddenly looks a lot closer. I would say the board control is still in Ace's favor. He still has a lot that he can do with the squares that he has right now.
Is Crabbi going to 99th though? Like if Crabbi goes for 100k points in 99th Street, that kind of blocks Ace's last available bingo. Like Highway Zero 99th Street is an absurdly efficient way to prevent Ace from being able to even go for a bingo at this point, which will kind of then lead it down to just pure squares and getting them all as fast as possible.
Yeah, so taking that center square, that 100,000 points, is gonna deny, I believe, every bingo away from Ace.
Yep. And looks like Crabbi's
that
going for the
means-
jump
yeah.
without a boost. Very... Ooh, no!
You hate to see it. Now he's got to get
There's
all the
a
way back
backup.
up there.
No, there's a backup. I think Crabbi
Cool.
knows it. Looks like Crabbi's going for it. Yeah!
He's got it. Absolutely.
My man.
All right.
I like
Credit to
doing
him
that
for that.
I like doing that because I don't like doing the trick jumps down. It's terrifying.
That's fair. Okay, so that is huge. That puts Crabbi right back in this game. Just a single point down now. I think if I know Ace is going to go straight to Hikage and try and score the graffiti there.
Oh, he's going for light wall ride though. Who's going to get it
Ooh,
though?
okay.
They're both right next to it. Oh,
Nah,
looks like
that's
Crabbi's got it
Crabbi
right.
again. Crabbi's finding his way right back into this game, evening
And
up the
falling
score.
down into light side as well. Oh, missing umbrella jump.
Ooh,
Ace is just having a
Crabbi-
day right now.
Crabbi coming roaring back into this game. I feel like it has to come down to Hikage now, surely.
When Crabbi gets momentum, It is spectacular to see. Because as we saw earlier, missing the jumps to 100k, which, is unfortunate. But Crabbi, oh no! But Crabbi immediately knows how to deal with these mistakes and kind of get back on. Knows all the backups, knows everything to you know, if he misses the optimal thing, it doesn't matter. Just go do the next best thing.
That said, that fall does put him behind Ace moving out to Hikage.
That was very unfortunate.
Most now of the Kogane side of the map, which was really, really strong early, is done. We're now moving out to the Shibuya side of the map, where we've got souls in Shibuya Terminal, souls in Dokazaka Hill, in Hikage Street, and the only other graffiti on the board, Hikage Street graffiti.
Yeah, and it looks
Or
like
is tied,
Ace
9-9.
Getting Tricks 25. I feel like Crabbi's got to know that Ace would have gone for that because of the time difference. Yeah, and it looks like Crabbi's going straight to Hikage with his Cubby and 100% graffiti. One thing to keep in mind is there are... Wait, no. I thought I saw... Yeah. I see 2 squares on the map that Ace will have a massive trouble if he has to rely on those 2 squares to get. Because Kibo Tricks 60 and Kibo points 250k, you require the tape to get that. And as we saw at the start of this game, it takes a while to get that tape, and one of the players has
Crabbi
that,
already has it,
and Ace does not. So that's going to be interesting. It comes down to that. I think Ace thinks Crabbi may be going for Hikage 100% there because he got Cubby. So I think Crabbi's relying on that. This is where
I really
we
like what Ace did here, though. He perhaps recognized that Hikage was huge. And instead thought, what can I do to make up those points in a different way? So he's picked up the soul in Shibuya, he's now going for the 2 souls in Dogen. That's going to be the 3 points that you would get for doing Hikage. But then Crabbi has anticipated Ace, anticipated him, and now they're doing the same thing.
This is where we talk to them after the game and they go, oh, I didn't notice 100% graffiti.
I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
I like to give the runners the benefit of the doubt in these games. But sometimes they're just
are the
completely running on instinct.
But like, occasionally you just like see something that makes absolutely no sense at first glance, and then you think of like 5 levels of strategy where each player is like anticipating what the other one is like 5 times and doing all these double backs and mind games, and it's just, oh, we didn't notice that square, or we didn't notice that bingo. It is... You never know. It's really something else.
It makes exciting watching, though. That's for sure. That's the best thing I think about JSRF Bingo is you can enjoy it on many different levels. If you're a strategist, you can enjoy the strategy. If you just like people going fast in a really cool video game, it delivers that as well. And
it's art really nice art style to boot.
Yeah, pleasure to watch.
That's one of the things the Jet Set Radio series is just known for, is just a very, very nice art style. Works really, really well.
So now they're both going for these Dogen souls, right?
And they
have to go get the tape. They've now had to do the unlocks, which you can do quite promptly on the high street. And now they are racing to points 50k and special. So they have to do entire laps of the level.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, Crabbi's going to get that one. Ace, I think, sees that and is going to get out slightly ahead to the next soul.
Yeah.
So incredibly neck and neck. He actually grabs that soul, which we don't need, which is just tiny, tiny, tiny little time loss that could make a difference.
When you're
As you can see, they are neck and neck again.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Oh my god.
I love it. Crabbi gets it.
Crabbi got it. Yeah.
Synchronized on screen. Well,
but I think it is the stream delay that kind of pushes Crabbi out ahead.
So after all of this craziness, the score is 12-10 in the favor of Crabbi.
Oh my god.
Which means, once again, I go back to saying Hikage graffiti is probably really important. And again, there is the potential that neither player goes for it.
Yeah, because like, Kibo and Sewers... Sewers points 150k. When we get to see it, you'll know why I hesitate to say it's a good square.
I didn't even register that one was on the board. Oh my goodness.
But it looks like Crabbi's going straight for Hikage 100%, which... So, with this, you either need the graffiti or all 4 of the squares, don't you, to win? Oh wait, no, you need 3 squares, the graffiti, and then that last SDPP square, don't you, to win?
So if Crabbi gets this graffiti, which he's uncontested to right now, that put his total at 15. Ace is at 10,
Ooh,
which means
that would be
Crabbi
it.
would win the game.
Ooh.
I believe. I'm going to double check my maths on that. But Crabbi has the 2 bonus points from the graffiti on top of his 10.
Yeah,
so
Ace
that
didn't get
is
any
12
graffitis,
points.
did he? Yeah.
Ace has had no graffitis this game. Oh, and Crabbi has the Highway 0 graffiti. Yeah, so that's going to be it. That's
So yeah, it
I
looks
think if he
like-
gets Hikage, he wins the game because there are only 4 squares left on the board for Ace to take. He's on 10 points. The final score would be 15-14.
Yeah, this is something like really crucial as well for like playing bingo. Is you've got to know your win condition. You've got to know when, like how. It's tricky because sometimes it's very difficult in the middle of a match to calculate how many points your opponent has and how many points you need to get to come out on top. But when it comes down to this, where there's only 5 squares left on the board, Crabbi knows if I do Hikage Street Graffiti, I'm sorted. Ace isn't here to contest that, so either Ace hasn't noticed or we've miscounted. But
I mean, I want to trust the players more than I want to trust my maths, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one.
yeah, I don't think you're wrong because Crabbi has that like we say Highway 0 worth those 2 additional points. So and Hikage Street will be worth 3. So it looks like Ace is just kind of going through Kibo, maybe not realising that Crabbi's got, this 1 square left to do.
So this is a huge comeback from Crabbi. Let's just establish that because he was in dire straits earlier on in the game, but such a great performance, just sniping Ace back to back to back to back to those crucial souls in 99th Street and in the Shibuya area in Dogen. That may have just won him the game here.
Yeah, I mean, some of the snipes done by Crabbi has just been spectacular, but if I was Ace, I'd be feeling deflated after that Dogen, because that was just...
Yeah, just frames difference.
Yeah. I mean, we can see on our end, they're both visually legit, like, on the exact same spot. So it's just...
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff.
Now, before I did the maths, I could kind of see Ace's logic for heading out to sewers, since he already had the tape unlocked, in sewers particularly, so that he could get the 150k points with slightly more. I mean, the sewers tape is really quick and easy to get, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to discredit Ace's decision making here, but I feel like maybe they're thinking too many layers deep. And that just going for Hikage straight away may have been the better play.
Yeah.
But we have the God vision, we have the power of hindsight. We're not in the moment playing this incredibly intense game.
Yeah.
And as we've said, like the ability to improvise, to make decisions on the fly, to always evaluate what your best move is so difficult to do in the moment.
What's Crabbi doing?
What's Ace doing?
See, we have the advantage of being able to just lay back and lay back in our armchairs and go, look at these idiots, they don't know what they're doing. But like these runners have the hugest brains I know. They play so many levels deep. But I am very confused, even with my nice little seat and being able to see. What?
I think Crabbi's confused as well.
Yeah, sure. So Crabbi is doing something, and Ace is doing something else. Ace is leaving Kibo.
He's got everything there is to get in Kibo, but again, he cannot win without Hikage Graffiti.
Unless he finds a glitch that sprays all the graffiti as soon as he enters.
Is that what he's been building up to this whole time?
Yeah,
that would be exciting.
Strat hoarding.
Unlikely. So, other than Hikage Graffiti, which is one of the longest routes in the game, to be fair, but as we see, Crabbi is most of the way through it. We have the Sewer Special Soul, which Ace is ignoring completely, and then SDPP Grind, which kind of got ignored when Crabbi was out on Dark Side.
Yeah. I mean, shoutouts to
I think Ace is
Hikage
coming to
Graffiti,
Hikage.
because it's one of the most tricky, like, graffiti routes to learn for Bingo, and it's kind of a almost a victim of the amalgamation of both, pre-end game and post-game graffiti in this scenario. Because in Bingo we have all the possible graffiti spots kind of filled in, and Hikage was not built for this. Yeah, 50
Certainly
sprays.
not.
Like,
one of the biggest issues for Hikage that it suffers that other graffiti routes don't is the lack of cans.
yeah. I mean, it's got enough cans for when you're playing it casually. It has
Just
not
about.
got enough cans for this.
Yeah, playing it casually, even then, managing your cans is difficult. But yeah, in this post-game save that we have modified to have all of the graffiti, Hikage becomes an incredibly daunting task. And it's not a surprise to see the players leave it for this late, because it's not something you want to commit so much time and effort to in the early stages of the game. As decisive as it looks like it's going to be, there's so much more you can do with your time at every other stage of the game. As we talked about at the beginning of the game, particularly Ace, but I think it's a generally strong strategy to have in Bingo, is to get as many tiles on the board as you can as quickly as possible.
And coming up on Crabbi right now. Crabbi's deciding, do I need more cans or can I just finish this? And I think there we
it
go.
is, 50 out of 50.
That's game.
That's going to secure the game for Crabbi, a massive, massive comeback. But a really good display of so many different elements of Bingo here. Just tiny little elements of fine movement. Incredible strategy as well from both players. Just predicting what each other were doing, but also formulating their own plans on the fly. We got to see pretty much every area of the game as well. I think this is a really, really good showcase of what JSRF Bingo can deliver.
Yeah. And it looks like they've opted to clean up the final two squares on the board. Ace, being the loser, has decided going to go get Sua's special, which so we'll get to see that joy of a soul.
It wouldn't be Jet Set Radio Future Bingo without Sua's special soul.
Oh god.
So many games have ended up decided by this soul in particular as well. And when you see it, you'll see what we're talking about. You'll see our reactions validated.
Yeah, there's so much time and effort that goes into that one soul. It is never worth it. So when games end up being decided by that soul, it's always the most hilarious and horrifying thing from being
I mean,
completely
whenever
honest.
it's on the board, it's almost always left till last. Unless there's so much in Sewers that you can get it naturally as part of your route. Perhaps if Sewers Graffiti was on the board, we might see it earlier. But
Sewers Graffiti
it's
or
one of the
Sewers
biggest
100K.
time commitments. Yeah. You need to pretty much always pick it up in combination with something else to justify not leaving it until last.
Yeah.
The thing about Sewers is it's a very vertical level. It takes a very long time to get up to the top. Even when we see the optimal movement from Ace here to skip a couple of levels, it still takes a long time. It's still punishing to fall down. You get the tape at the beginning of the level, and that's great, usually. But with the special soul in Sewers, it's another points unlock. So there's a 100,000 points combo and a 150,000 points combo in this level. The only place you can do that is on a rail right at the very top.
Yeah, the rails are kind of split between 10-point rails and 500-point rails. So a lot of these point souls kind of assume you're using a 500-point rail. So for whatever reason, Sewers just has no 500 points rails until the very top of the level. So you can't... The only other way you could possibly unlock this soul without going to the top is going back and forth on a half pipe for 30 minutes. And needless to say, there are faster ways.
And then even then, you have to go to the top of the level to get the soul.
Yeah, well, you have to go like halfway up. And then, well, you'll see the room.
Yeah.
As you can see, Crabbi has already unlocked the soul over an SDPP, and Ace hasn't even unlocked the soul to be able to grab. This is everyone's favourite.
Yeah, I feel like from where they were in Hikage Street, going to Sewers and SDPP was kind of the same amount of time. No, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Ace is just saying, I'm not bothering with that.
So you might have seen on the pause menu, there is a particular part of the map that sticks up quite a lot. We call that 100-meter room because it is a 100-meter tall room.
Yep.
The only way to
There you
navigate
go.
it, there it is to navigate to the top of that by riding the walls. It takes a very long time,
And they put
and nobody ever
obstacles.
wants to do it.
And casually, it's very easy to fall all the way down.
Yep, so sewers.
Yeah.
Most people's least favorite level of the game for
Yeah.
several reasons. But I think that was a really good display of JSRF Bingo. Thank you to our players, our runners, for showing that off for us, and congratulations to Crabbi on the win.